Put that in the car.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Did you consider having a bat? Daddy didn't have that trait.
You must have got that from Mummy's side. 100th ep, yes. Give me a couple of babies. Let me run through the banner and cheer me off because we're 100 episodes deep tonight. And Chom, you've been good for about 10 of them, son. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm happy to hear I've carried for 10 of them. So you're off sometimes, and you're off tonight. And I've just got you up to speed pre-pod, and there's 100 ep, so you should be excited. But
I've
got you there.
I'm very off. I've come in flat as attack. But when those lights go on and I see Moff and Benny and a little bit you, I always just try to rise. But I was thinking today, right, I never played 100 at any club.
Neither.
In footy. I play, 43 State League and then 98 or something in the AMA. So this is my first 100. And I was sitting at the gym today just doing a bit of incline bench. Hard.
Thanks for
incline
slipping
bench.
that in.
And I had, Jesus, I've always had one crook shoulder. And I go, gee, that shoulder's always a bit crook, especially in these cold mornings when you're crunching, you feel it. And I go, that shoulder's bad. And then I just had the other shoulders bad. And I go, Jesus, for a 43 State League gamer, I really have crook shoulders. And I was thinking, was there an incident? Did I just get smashed in the back one day? And then I thought, no.
Fair gag, mate.
I'm just carrying you blokes has cooked the shoulders. Carrying you with donk chat, carrying you with arse stories, carrying you with
Gatorade
just
bottle.
Understanding what's going on in
Great
footy.
lookalikes.
No one knew who you were.
Having massive wingdings in
Drapesy
Spud
was a
game.
mute. You were a mute. So I've carried 2 mutes to 100 episodes, and I'm very proud of it. Shoulders are cooked in for 2 surgeries, in about 3 weeks' time. But
Pat yourself on the back, mate. Which
how bad
you
was
do
that
most
gag? We
weeks.
might cut that out.
No, I'll leave that in.
No, I'll leave it in. Anyway,
Yeah,
you look
potential.
bloody fresh.
I feel that
You're back
good.
from New Zealand.
I feel very good.
Bit of high alpine boom boom.
Broke back me out.
Oh, why not, mate? Try all the fruits of life.
I feel great. Good little getaway, 5 days over in NZ. It did start off pretty hairy though. Got on the plane at Melbourne Airport and obviously really excited to get there by 2. We had a few things planned in the afternoon. Beautiful dinner booked at Javois Steakhouse.
Javois.
Nice dry aged porterhouse there. But we got halfway to Queenstown on the flight and the loudspeaker goes over and it says, attention, this is your captain speaking. We have had an issue with the GPS monitor and we will be returning to Melbourne to fix it.
How far in?
Halfway. Hour and a half. So my 3-hour flight to Queensland turned
Queenstown.
into Queenstown turned into a 6-hour.
Right.
Not great.
Did you disembark?
No, we just stayed on the landing strip. They fixed the GPS and then we'll back off. So we're on the plane for a good 7.5 hours on the way over. But mind you, got there in the end, made the booking for dinner, had a great steak, and the trip was brilliant. Really refreshed, nice mountain air. Could not recommend going to the South Island of New Zealand more.
How many hikes did we do? Because you had Liv. Beautiful Liv.
Just the one. Roped Liv into one hike. She was really good. There was 1,000 meters of elevation and I'm talking straight up for 2.5K. So tree roots, no stairs, and it was pretty tough. And we finally come out of the trees and we had to walk up this ridge line to the hut that we were staying at, and snow just started pissing down. Couldn't see 10 meters in front of you, but it was pretty cool. And that was the first time Liv had seen snow as well. So she was over the moon, but it was great staying out. We stayed in this little hut on Mount Brewster, packed up all our stuff, and at lunchtime we tried to go to Brewster Glacier, which is this glacier at the top of Mount Brewster. Got about halfway there and then just couldn't see anything because we were literally in a cloud, so we had to turn and go back. And then we thought we had the hut to ourselves, and 2 Argentinians rolled in at about 6:30 in the dark. 2 Argentinian fellas, and then a Swedish
Sounds
girl,
outstanding.
and an Armenian partner come a little bit later, and I'd hauled up 4 or 5 beers in my
there a hot tub?
backpack. So no, it's a fucking hut. I'd hauled up a few beers, so we all had a beer together and shared dinner, and it was pretty cool. They didn't speak much English, but I think they got the gist of it.
What did you make for dinner? In the hut? Was there cooking utensils?
No, I had a freeze-dried meal. I've just got a little titanium pot you can boil water in and rehydrate any food. So like porridge, chicken noodles, freeze-dried. I had beef bourguignon. Bourguignon? How do you say that?
Bourguignon?
Moff, please help us on that.
It's a red wine beef. Bourguignon. I think it was-
Bourguignon,
It's a
yeah.
hard G.
Yeah, Francois spec. Liv had a chicken curry that was freeze dried, and whatever the Argentinians were eating were quite stinky. Stunk out the heart.
Stinky Argentinians.
No, I did not say that. The food.
Oh, sorry.
But I'm fresh. I've come back. Had a great trip. It was really cool. Milford
Just
sounds
before I
great.
give the sponsors plug here, I just want to say something a bit rude. You didn't opt for the old number 69 dinner for two. Okay.
We'll share it.
Right, now I've said that.
That's good that you
Now,
got that.
obviously, for episode 100, we're brought to you by our great mates at Mazda. Check out the new BT-50 range today at mazda.com.au. Sneak that in before the end of financial year.
Yes.
And get some sort of tax deduction up there, especially if you pay a bit of cash off. Not that I'm soliciting financial advice, but it is a good time to invest in the BT-50.
do not
You've
take
got
financial advice
a
from us.
really nice key in your BT-50.
should we discuss
I
it?
never I don't get envy. I never worried about someone with a bigger house or a better car or who's a bit more better looking. I get a bit jealous of guys that are better at footy than me. I've just always had that.
Yep, that's fair.
When I'm at the Merrijig Rodeo and I feel that there's a chance that I'm the best footballer at the rodeo, I
And
feel
Timmy
really
English rolls
good.
in.
Oh, fucking Timmy English rolls in. I feel good about myself. But when you're flashing around your fucking fancy Mazda key, I didn't feel great.
Shall we tell the audience? I'm in a group chat with Sensei and Nick Butler, and I sent in a message today it was directed at Geish, but I just wanted Butts to know they had a nice key.
I don't think we're referring to the sensei by his real name.
No, we're just calling him Sensei.
Yeah, sensei. Yes.
Which is what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, and I asked the sensei, there's a button on my key, I didn't know what it does, and it's like a circle looking
wanker
button.
button.
Anyway, sensei said it's a remote start button. You can essentially start the cars from outside, and you can start the heater when it's a cold day. And Butts replied to that spewing face, said, just focus on footy and don't have too much fun.
Yes, I did.
To which he sent his own key, which I haven't seen
I
one of
have
them.
too.
I've
I
not
have,
seen one of them since the 90s.
I have unlock and lock. I think I've got a Dadson 1993
And
key.
he doesn't
or
have a
something.
push start, but he's living in the past.
Anywho.
That's a 90s BT. You need to get on to Mansfield. Sale only give out the new cars. So
No.
get down to Sale and buy yourself a nice new BT.
Or get up to the beautiful high country. Liv, if she hasn't seen snow, the ski season starts this week.
And get a
Fuller,
second-hand Mazda
go
from
up
the
to
90s.
Mansfield Mazda. And go and see State League Pete. But very good. Okay. I've got a bit of news for you. What have we got? Should I just start with the headline act, Moff?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you're a bit hot in that jumper.
I'm a little bit hot. Yeah.
I'm getting warm as well, Moff.
Yeah.
No,
Turn
you
the
don't need
heater
to,
down, maybe.
No, you don't need to worry about you. Are you a bit
Turn the
warm?
heater
I'm
down?
a bit hot.
Yeah.
I'm a bit hot.
Maybe just
Actually,
turn
I'm a bit hot.
just turn the heater down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just stand up. And
Yeah.
Oh,
you know
God.
what? Before we go any further, I'm going to derobe a bit and just get comfortable in a t-shirt.
For 100
Okay.
pounds,
Because
yeah.
I've got some big news to reveal.
Yep.
Don't worry about
already
our 100th ep guest.
Yeah.
I've got some fucking good news to reveal, but I just need to take my jumper off, all right?
Yeah.
We'll just
Alright,
speak
so-
amongst ourselves.
Oh, watch out.
God, God,
Oh, God.
Butts has nearly just tripped over. I'll fix your mic up for you.
Feel free to get a bit of look at me obliques.
What do you got on there?
Oh,
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh!
It's
What's
shit.
that?
That's
Chom,
hot.
what's
Look at
that?
It's a Chom's Angel t-shirt.
That's
yeah.
hot.
That's hot.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot. That's
Are you
hot.
happy with that gag?
That's pretty good. That's Mofsky.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought we left that in the
no,
past. I thought we
shit.
left it in the
these
past.
will be available for sale on the 200 plus merch.
Straight
live
to
show.
Butts' account.
Yeah.
Keep
Oh,
Ratface
God.
out of it because Ratface don't pay. Yeah, I'll be selling these off.
Yeah. It's a good tee. It's a good tee.
It's a good fit.
Liv looks very pretty. You're punching above.
You reckon? Yeah.
A couple of levels.
I'll learn
Couple of
from the best, mate.
No, very good. Well, on that, have you noticed a bit of a sort of hue in my skin tonight?
You are
Just
glowing.
look a bit sort of lighter and a little bit sort of edgy and
Yeah, the testosterone filled.
filled. Because
really
I got a bit of the boom boom. Fucking oath. I did my sums.
Fucking oath.
I don't know if I'd had any boom boom since I created the baby, the Bella. Since I created the baby. And shit, I was a fish out of water there for the first couple of moments, Moff, but like a good racehorse. When you're quality, you go well first up.
Like riding a bike.
It was, with rock shocks on it. Real mountain bikey. Oh my God! We can't keep that. Yeah, I don't think we can keep that in. But it was a lovely thing to
How
get
did it
some
come
boom.
on?
Huh?
How did it?
Yeah, take us to the moment.
How did it come on?
It's 100th episode celebratory lovemaking.
Well, no. It was that my little baby daughter finally is going to sleep for more than an hour at a time, and I was given an offer. It was like, hey, after you put Ted down, if all's clear, come in for a cuddle, because it's sort of been like Mel deals with baby, I deal with 4-year-old, and you do what you do to survive. And I must say, I fell asleep. I read a couple of bloody grug books or something, and I was out. But then I just remember I woke up going boom, 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 and I had like spit on my face, and I didn't really know where I was, but I knew there was an offer of boom, boom, and I stormed in there ready to go. And we had the boom, boom off.
Oh, congratulations!
How are we going to
mate.
go? Maybe we just put this bit in the Patreon or something.
I'm happy for you, mate.
Yeah.
Something I want to talk about is
Okay.
it's a few footy games on the weekend. I didn't actually happen to catch any. I was off hiking mountains like Sir Edmund Hillary.
Kilimanjaro.
I was doing Everests and I was Nims Purger there for a bit. But I did see that the Snake played a bit of footy.
Yeah, the
on the
snake
weekend.
lasted 10 minutes, I think.
He played for the Snake Pit.
Twos.
How fitting. Do we know how he went? Were you there? Did you
I
catch
didn't.
him?
I liked it. Firstly, before we put shit on him, good on him for finally playing.
Yeah.
Like when he came
Get
out
the
of
monkey
footy,
off
he was
the
a
back.
bit sort of, wah, footy's killed me. I was overthinking it. I don't want to do it anymore sort of shit, which I found just offensive. When you're 27, you know what I mean? I'll cop it when you're 38.
Yes.
But he's just got out there, you know what I mean? And had a bit of a kick. The hammy went, well, that happens.
10 minutes in, I think. Apparently he took a hanger.
Did he?
Allegedly. He
I'd love
told me
vision.
today he
Love
took a
vision.
hanger, and one of the other lads that was working in the studio today also confirmed he took it, but no footage for the first 10 minutes. So apparently they don't have it
I
on
know
tape.
the feeling.
They don't have it on
I know
tape.
the
So
feeling.
take yourself back to 2006. but
Yes, it was.
there
North
was
Ballarat.
There was an apology post game, I think, from the cameraman.
I was playing in the VFL against North Ballarat. He's playing in the Richmond Snakes seconds.
Yeah.
So let's not compare those stories, by the way. Okay, back then you didn't shit footballers didn't glorify themselves with the camera on themselves. Okay, to be on the bloody TV, you had to be
have to be
playing
good.
in a league like the VFL
Yeah.
back then. So my story's good that fucking idiot cameraman broke his camera. Nowadays, the fact that there wasn't a cameraman at the fucking Snakes seconds, I don't really care about.
I find it.
But I like that he played. Good
Still.
on him. And we're working through the offers at the moment for me to maybe play a half in the two somewhere.
I have heard whispers.
There's a few in there.
Did I get left out of that deal?
Well, you play league footy. Drapesy's injured.
I stumbled across a group chat message of people sending offers, and they just happened to involve you and Drapes.
Well, that's why I put Drapes and I out to market, because this is the
Okay.
deal, right? I said, and Mel's ticked it off. She might not after that boom boom story, but she ticked off that you can play about a half. She reckons that's all I got in me now.
Yeah.
Put the body on the line for sheets for a half in the twos. Platinum package, having a shower with the boys, including a bit of slapping up in the shower.
Yeah.
Drapesy will pop his head into the president's function while I'm playing.
And I'll just fuck off.
And then we'll do a Sporto afterwards. You might be able to come to the Sporto after you finished your AFL commitments.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that's probably fair enough. How are we going to put you at the market? You play every week.
So it's just a you and Drapes
Yes, it
show
is.
now, yeah.
And we're now talking turkey with a few clubs.
Yeah, you're good to just do a show next week by yourselves as well. I think I won't be involved next week.
Okay.
Well, you won't. You're away.
Yeah, true. So, good one, dickhead. Anyway, how are we going, Moff?
Yeah.
I'm getting pretty excited about the main ep.
I feel like
we're here. We're not just marking time. We've got
Yeah.
some shit to I really wanted to hear about New Zealand.
Yeah.
I really wanted to talk about my boom boom. We might have to clean that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
The full thing will go on the Patreon.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I think that's
fair enough.
That's fair.
A couple of things I want to plug, but should I get to my Sam Pang story? Or maybe that's my Give It Heaps.
Okay, yeah, that
I
could be
think
Give It
my
Heaps.
Give It Heaps moment is I had a Sam Pang moment
Let's
today.
go to it. Let's go there.
Are we going there now?
Let's go there.
Let's get it.
My Give It Heaps moment, thank you to Mazda BT-50. Give It Heaps is this. And I was having a bit of a morning, rolled up a little bit flustered, got to work, thought, you know what, I need to eat. I need some protein before I attack my day of
Yeah.
football news reporting down there with Xander. So I popped into the cafe, local cafe in South Yarra, Middle southeast, very good, for a quick poached eggs and a coffee. And I thought, I'm nothing without my protein. Ho into it. Remember thinking, I'm really eating aggressively here. And make sure you, on the way out when you pay, just get a bit of a napkin there and just clean up if there's any egg around the face, right? Because I just felt there might have been egg on the face. When you're really going at the runny poached eggs.
Yeah, you've had a fair crack.
So what has happened? So I've gone and had my eggs, sat at my desk probably for half an hour to 45 minutes, chatted to a few girls in the tea room, chatted to the young fellow who's working for 10, Robbie Waters, the producer. I'm chatting to everyone, right? So a lot of people have seen my face. And I'm going, shit, I've just got a bit of an itch. Maybe I'm getting a bit of a zit coming through here. And I kept itching my face and chatting to people and shooting the breeze, about this and that. And then didn't really think much of it. Then my day starts to fire up and I head downstairs to go and interview big Peter Wright and Mitch McGovern at the...
2 metre Peter.
2 metre Peter and Mitch McGovern at the
Guff.
MCG. And while I'm at the lift, I have this really good chat to Sam Pang. I'm a Pang man. I like Pang. Pang likes me. Okay,
funny man.
We dap up. It was a good dap, by the way. I'm going, Pangy, when's the show back? I've got my own show, podcast, 200 plus, pretty much the Nick Butler show with a couple of clowns. You've got the Sam Pang show. So we're talking shit about show business. And it was really
being
good
the main man and just shoulders hurting. And,
all of that. And then even to the point where Pangy goes, hey, Butts, can you just scan me down? So I've really had to lean in close to him and he kept looking at me like... I've had this feeling before, something's up. And so then I get in the car with the cameraman and I've got fucking poached egg all over my face. All over my face.
Told ya.
And I'm chatting to Pang. And Pang's close. I'm talking a foot away. He's looking at that poached egg. And I went to DM him today to just say, hey, Pang, I'm so sorry, Pang, about... it was funny, by the way, but I'm talking to you with 2 poached eggs on my face. Like, I'm surprised you didn't have a lick, for a morning snack. There was that much egg in my beard. And then I just decided to do a bit of an audit because I was pissed off in the car. I got a wipe and wiped it off and said, no, I've got to go and do my job here. And I had an audit and I went to every one of those people that I spoke to and said, excuse me, at about 10 o'clock this morning, when I was talking to you for more than 2 to 3 minutes, did you see egg all over my face? And they all denied it. But one person in particular got a bit sheepish and backed off and wouldn't look me in the eye. So my sort of a lengthy give it heaps BT-50 moment is if you see someone with fucking egg on their face or spinach in their teeth or Vegemite on their chin or anything that, fucking tell them. It takes courage to maybe have that awkward 5 minutes to say, hey, mate, bit of egg there. Obviously, you've enjoyed your poachies in the morning. Hey, clean that up. Because you might run into a celebrity like Sam Pang at the lift and dap it up and talk shit, and you're going to look like a fool now. And probably not sleep for 3 days worrying about Sam Pang thinking about the egg that was on my face.
For our listeners, I think. Yeah, they're going to run into celebrities at lifts quite a lot.
Well, they might. Anyway.
Do you have Sam Pang's number?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. So you
but
can't
I
be that
will.
close.
You know what, Charlie?
You're not close.
You've given me the sort of inspiration now that I'll track it down tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll put this in the thread. G'day, Sam. Butts here, mate. Great to chat the other day. Really sorry about the 2 poached eggs on my chin. I was let down by a counterpart that didn't tell me I had egg on my face because I really had fucking egg on my face when Pang was getting into that lift laughing.
So technically you gave it heaps at breakfast because you were eating it like smeared all over your face.
Yes, I did. I gave it heaps because I was hungry. But what I'm saying is when you're that person, if I ever see you, Moff, and I notice you've got a bit of carbonara in your mo, I'm just going to say, hey, Moff, before you go any further, mate, you got a bit of carbonara in your mo.
Yeah.
All right, don't go chatting to the boss for the next 5 minutes.
That's actually really nice.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's a community announcement and some advice. Give it heaps when someone has a bit of food on their face.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you. I think that's my best one.
That's a really good one.
Thank you.
That's a good. They'll clip up very well, I reckon. That's probably your best one.
Thanks, mate. Do you have one?
Fucking long.
It was a little bit long.
That was 5 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
That's good.
Anyway,
it's good.
There we go, Nick.
My BT-50 give it heaps moment for the week was visiting probably one of my favourite places on earth now, which was Milford Sound on Wednesday. It was the first thing we did when we got to New Zealand. We had to drive 4 hours. So we're up at 5 a.m. in the morning and drove 4 hours through beautiful New Zealand to get down to Milford Sound. However, you can't actually see anything because the sun doesn't rise till 8 a.m. So it was 3 hours in darkness.
Right.
Got to Milford Sound, jumped on the boat.
Is it a lake?
It's a glacial. It's actually an inlet, more or less. So it connects to the sea, and it used to be a glacier, and it's all melted away. And there's a massive cavernous kind of crevasse with these dramatic hills either side.
Beautiful.
And they
trout in those waters.
I think there would be. So the bottom of it's salt water and the top's fresh. And they say the best time to visit is when it's raining. When we got there, it wasn't raining, but it's the second wettest place on earth. So we jumped on the boat, and as soon as we got on the boat to do a cruise up this Milford Sound, it started bucketing like nothing you've ever seen before. Wind, rain, pissing down from all directions. But then the waterfalls started absolutely like chundering off the side. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. So my good heaps moment for the week is braving the tough weather out in Milford Sound to see probably one of the most dramatic and beautiful landscapes I've ever seen.
I like that. Yeah. After the pain comes the pleasure.
Yeah, you can't. I haven't got a quote there, but you can't get good stuff without doing bad stuff.
Hey,
that's good.
We should do a travel show on. I don't think Ratface would pay us. We should do another show that Ratface doesn't pay us for.
Yeah,
a travel
branch
show
out and do our own.
like a bit like postcards.
Yeah,
but a bit more young and hip. I think I did a pitch to Ratface a while ago. It's probably still in his drawer. About, using some sportsmen about their happy place where they go to find a bit of zen on their bye.
There's good merit in this.
We should make
David
it like
Juniak, I was going to go surfing with him, hiking with you, go to a winery with someone else.
Bull, you can do some cooking with Bull.
Whatever gets you that happy place.
Fortnite with Nick Watson.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
That's it.
we could do like make a deck and pitch it properly.
Should we maybe take this offline?
Yeah.
So before the big guest for the 100th episode, some big news on the live show. So it's locked in Wednesday, the 9th of July. At Jack Watts in the city.
Max
Watts in the city. That's 3 gags I fucked up tonight.
Jack Watts.
Right, yes, no, it is Max Watts, but hopefully Jack Watts is there because he is good fun. When he is partying, the old Jack Watts, he really goes for it. So he'll be there. I think tickets will be going on sale to coincide with the release of the 100th episode at 3 p.m. tomorrow, which is today.
Which is
tomorrow, which
right
is today.
now.
Which is
They're
Tuesday.
They're out
3
right
p.m. Tuesday.
They're out now.
The 3rd of June, they're out.
Fuck, it's going to be good. Okay, so it's a
will be
great
good.
venue.
It's
a live music
unbelievable
venue. It's got a bar. It's got proper lighting. I'm going to sing karaoke at the end.
Yep. It's got a
Mr.
proper
Big to
stage.
be with you
No,
is
we're
in the
going to pick
rundown.
an appropriate
No,
song.
that is going to be one.
That you're going to bomb.
No, I won't bomb it.
It's
I'm
going to
going to
bomb.
do a couple.
I think the
crowd will not
Patreon
know.
will have to have a say.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying I want Mr. Big in there.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll do a couple.
We might
But
do a duet.
we actually could do
Plenty
a
of
few.
beers. There is going to be some Michael Tuck uncut sort of stuff.
Yeah. The
there'll
plumbers were really upset that it got beat
I
last
know.
week, so we'll have to sort something out.
I'm going to go as close to the line as I can without being sued on that one, but I'm going to tell you that sort of stuff. We're going to have a special guest. We'll talk a bit of footy because we're getting close to finals by then. A little bit of footy, a little bit of untold behind-the-scenes stuff with the beautiful boys, who I did hang some shit on before. They are the stars of the show. I just knit it together. What else is going to be in this?
An auction?
Might have an
An
auction.
auction,
Yeah, we
a
love an
raffle.
auction.
Yeah.
The works.
Yeah,
we're going to have a good time.
are we gonna
I'm going
auction
to drink
off
some
a,
piss. I'm going to take the day off so I
Yeah.
can suck a bit of piss while on stage. I'm going to get
Any
really loose.
bungers? Any bungers?
It didn't go well for me last time, and if I'm going to play in the 2 somewhere, I don't want to be bunging too much. But
It is
maybe
a
one.
smoke-free venue.
Maybe one out
inside.
the front.
Yeah, that'll be
Are
good.
we going to auction off any Nick Butler wings?
Yeah, there will be the other Nick Butler Wings print
One
that we
of
didn't
2.
sell last time. Reserve on that $2,000 cash. We'll start there, and
it's gonna
maybe
be a good
even a
night.
jumper. Which is very good. By the way, we do need to present my good friend Tommy
Yes,
O'Dwyer.
yes.
He's Geelong 52, which the Cats, I need to give them a pump up. They've come good and found him a jumper.
Yeah.
He's in Sydney at the moment DJing, but we're going to get him on next week for the presentation.
Yeah,
It just came to my brain. But merch, raffles, guests, uncut stories.
Lots of fun.
Music. What else?
Yeah.
That's about it.
You get to meet Moff, and Benny will be
Oh,
there
I
as
won't
well.
be there.
Moff's going to be in
Boom
Shrimps
Boom
and Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8,000. Yeah.
But Benny will be there.
Benny will be there.
Can't wait for that. So jump on, get a ticket. Don't want to miss
Yeah,
out.
it's
How many
pretty
does the
limited.
venue fit?
It's about 300, 400.
300?
Yeah.
Oh, we filled that
But
in
we
last
had
time in the
about-
pub easy.
We had 360 and we couldn't sell any more.
Right. I think we're there.
Yeah.
I think we are there.
Okay, have we dropped the name of the guest yet? I don't think we have.
No.
Well,
Let's do it. Let's do a little intro for our guest.
okay.
I mean, it's been on the Instagram and
I
like
know.
it'll be the title of the show.
He's
Oh, no,
big.
I think a reel went out today.
He's a leader. He likes darts.
His
He
first
plays
name,
like a warrior.
His first name rhymes with Pax.
Are we doing this, are we?
And his last name rhymes with lawn.
That's shit out. But let's get to our special guest.
Here we go.
I guess we're on Plumbers' 100th episode, if you don't mind. Through the banner we go, and we're here thanks to Mazda BT-50. Check out the new BT-50 range today. Drapesy will get you up there and get you in a BT-50 soon. But enough on that, because Drapesy, you've cleared out the goal square of the production and said, I will take the reins, and old Nepo baby Moff has been kicked off. And you've said, I'll get the biggest guest of the year, and Maxi Gawny's on for episode 100, if you don't mind.
Yes, welcome, Max.
Well recited. Well recited. Very well done. Very well read.
An invite came across my desk around episode 5, and I thought, I'll see it. I'll just see what it is first. But 100,
Yeah.
I'm coming in on.
You been listening, Maxi, a bit since then?
I've seen what's it called when they leak into sort of your
Clips.
algorithms? Yeah, snippets.
Yeah, a few snippets, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some snippets. Haven't listened from minute 1 to minute. How long we got?
About an hour.
Haven't done minute 1 to minute 60 yet.
Because you were a podder. You were big with Gus and Gawny.
We had Gus and Gawny,
Yes.
yeah. That was good.
It was the club pod we didn't bag. There was one called Rish and Wrath, which was really shit.
We went hard on that.
It was a snore fest. But your one was good. Like, how many episodes did you knock out of the old Gus and Gawny?
We were well and truly in the hundreds, yeah. We were weekly. Is this weekly?
Yes,
weekly,
a few little spin-off eps to keep the sponsors ticking, but the main one is weekly.
We were weekly, and then Gus died, and then we haven't gone back since.
Fair enough. It didn't mean the pod had to die. Could you fire up Gus again, or
his love for footy has sort of drifted? He'll come back. There will be one more episode. I just don't know when.
Final hurrah, the parade.
You seem very happy and relaxed, which is great to see. For, I guess, a captain and a team that was copying an enormous amount of shit about a month ago, as E.J. Whitten used to say, you've stuck it right up a few, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm well happy currently right now just because it's 7 p.m. and that's a horrible time to be home with 2 kids.
Yes, it is.
Drapes actually said, do you want to do it at midday? I said, nope, 7 p.m. So actually I did it by myself at a Garpy on Swan Street.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Look, great number, isn't it?
Little silver. And then, we've had a couple of wins recently, so a little bit better than last time I saw Drapes, which was unfortunately 0-5.
When you scratched the fuck out of him.
Do you remember that? I've scratched a few.
Are you not aware?
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah. I come up with a few scratches after that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I
We thought tonight we should get you some nail clippers, but we left that one aside for tonight. But I was pretty scratched up.
I apologize. Are you sure it wasn't, who was our second ruck that day? Van Rooyen?
Oh, I don't think he touched me.
Okay, I apologise.
Nah, it's all
I've
good.
done it. Yeah,
It's all part of it.
No, they look pretty neat.
I've been getting TC a bit this year, so it must be my nails. Yes,
Yeah.
I apologise. You did sit on my head, so
Sorry.
You mentioned TC there. How is the old cockroach going? He's kind of like our spirit animal because he just refuses to toss in the towel.
yeah, well, that's because he's still going pretty well.
It is, yeah.
He's my age, TC. He's I think he's mature age, so he's not. And I'm 17 years or 16 years in the system. I think he's maybe 15 or 14 just because he missed those first 3 years. But yeah, doggies, North Melbourne, St Kilda, D's. Hasn't got the D's game yet, so can't call himself a 4 clubber till he get the game. I don't think.
No, you cannot.
It'll come.
No,
It just has to come.
It'll come. I'm not playing 23 games.
No. Well, the way you're going, you might. Now, just quickly, I didn't do any intros. That's Charlie Comben. You've sat on a panel with him before, but he had a mild anxiety attack and didn't speak.
He did not say a
so
word.
just in case, Mason Cox came on and didn't know he was a player once.
just for clarity's sake, Gawny, sometimes it's hard to get a word in with Butsy. He likes to take the reins. And that particular day, I was early into my media career, so you'd think Butsy, being the experienced campaigner, would maybe throw a few at the young kid that's just trying to get a foot in the door. But no, he took the reins and shunned young Chom out to the side. And
Stole your questions that you had pre-prepared.
True. Another story for your audience. We had a little pre-game meeting, Gawny. We're like, Nick, I'll ask these questions. And Butt's like, yeah, I'll ask this one. You do that one. That's a good question. And the first question he asked was mine. And I was a bit stumped from there on out. So he's a question stealer.
I don't know if that's right, mate. Max, he does a bit of media on Triple M, so he'll be getting it. So the first one, I'd ask you one or two, and then I left a big gap for him to drive a truck through. And he was trembling, and I thought, shit, I've just got to keep going here because there's a live audience.
Live is tough, though.
Yes.
First time live.
Yeah, first time live.
He's grown a lot.
Yeah, that was a big crowd, actually, that day.
Yeah, a couple hundred there. I think got the better of me a little bit.
But he has grown a lot. As you can see behind you, there's a lovely article there we've printed out from
That's good. Thanks
his
for that,
official
Muff.
hard launch of him and his new girlfriend, Liv.
you, Muff.
Jackie Epstein gave
Great
a nice
addition to the set.
shout out in the newspaper.
How does that come across?
I went on Nova, and yeah, to the best. Well, I thought we were just going on radio to have a bit of a joke around, but they wanted to needle me about the fact I hadn't posted my partner on Instagram at the time, and it had been 4 months at that point. I then went on 2 weeks ago, and they asked the same question: "Why haven't you posted? Why haven't you posted?" I just said, "Oh, we haven't got a good photo yet. Like, we'll come." And they said, "Where is she today?" It turns out she was in the car, so they brought her up and had to do the hard launch.
Oh, she came inside.
Yeah, she come up. To her credit, she spoke really well. She was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jackie Epstein got a hold of that one 2 days later and took me to the cleaners. So
That's all right. I've had my time.
have you?
Jackie as well, yeah.
What's your Jackie Epstein story?
And to be fair, I'm 4 years in for this story, so I've played 17 mediocre second ruck games.
Fantastic.
And I managed to get myself in the confidential, a girl in each arm and a margarita in each hand.
That's not good.
That's heaven.
It was just 2 days before preseason started, and I tore my hammy off the bone on the Monday. So that was a tough one with Nildy, but to be fair, I've won that battle with Nildy now. So it was.
I think you've redeemed yourself.
Yeah, I've slightly redeemed myself, but Bernie Vince once told me, and actually Wayne Carey's got a similar philosophy, which is not a great philosophy, but deny.
Yes.
3 days of
And I
football.
went down that path. They go, did you do everything you can to get up for Monday? I said, yeah, didn't even drink at races, and then margaritas were in with the hand. I did recovery on the Saturday. Yeah, it was a tough.
Pregnant chicks call them with the no alcohol ones.
I'm going to leave you on an island here.
They're called the moth.
Oh yeah, those ones.
Mocktails?
Mocktails. Thank you.
yes,
You
well
could have
done,
said
you
I was
got it.
having a mocktail,
Sorry.
and I was just to impress the chicks.
When you said pregnant chicks, I was happy to just leave you somewhere, wherever you were going with that one.
It does lead me in with you, Maxine, but I think this rundown has a lot of rat face about it, Moff. Has he been in here? Because this is real Melbourne nuffy stuff, like real big footy weird shit.
We don't need to get into that
And
stuff.
I don't think we need to ask all of this. I can tell he's a Melbourne nuffer, okay, with a real sort of duffel coat wearing D's fan.
Do the players love Simon Goulden? We're not asking that.
We'll get to a bit of that shit after we ask some interesting
on.
stuff.
Come on.
Give it one more. Ask one more of those fart questions because we're going to forget otherwise. Ask another
Have
one.
you and Track now stepped aside because you've been number one team?
Oh, Jesus, what are we on here?
Don't answer that. That's
They're the first two.
They're the first
Wow.
We're ad-libbing.
two. I swear, Moff's been pushed aside by the general manager of the company. Anyway, that sort of shit, right? About, Jackie Epstein, 2 chicks on your arm and a cocktail, along with the dart story, are just fantastic. And I was thinking about you as a leader the other day, and
Just casually.
I was because I've got a bit to work with here, by the way. But you cannot buy that in an age where everything's about connection and vulnerability. Like when you're talking to blokes, and good footballers are normally risk takers. They're not your class nerds sitting up the front. Someone who's done a hammy and gone and got on the piss with 2 chicks, and a couple of years earlier than that got caught having a bung on the way to training. When you talk to a lad, they'll listen because you've been there before. Is that fair?
It's actually a pretty good take. The dart story, it's not my finest hour. I've told it before, but I might as well just give you a
Let's go again.
full debrief. I took my mates out the night before to a night out. I wasn't drinking. I was ready to train the next day.
Mocktails.
Mocktails. And I drive into Casey the next day, 7 a.m. It's 30 degrees already. It's one of those days. It's already hot. So I've got no top on while driving. I've got all 4 windows down on the Monash freeway, and I've seen the cigarettes in the back of the seat, and I've gone, I'm going to have a dart. Fuck it. So I lit up a dart, and then just picture this. I'm in the far right lane, of course, with my red peas going whatever speed, and Kyle Cheney. I overtake Kyle Cheney.
Yep.
And I was unaware what car Colcini drove. To be fair, I wasn't really watching. I was just having the time of my life. Imagine me, topless, 30 degrees, and I passed Colcini, and he's seen me, but I haven't seen him.
Yes.
So I haven't tried to hype the darts, and he's seen me at full, like, sitting back just absolutely. I know that's poor podcasting, but
That's good. It's good.
No, that's paints a good
absolutely
picture.
loving life. And then I obviously was unaware that he caught me, and it took about a week and a half to get back to me. So the leaders really sat on it for a while. I think
Was
they were like-
Kyle a leader? I mean,
Nah,
these
Kyle-
boys, he was an angry, competitive red nut, quite a good player.
and I love Cole.
Yeah. But did he put you in?
His best mate was Jack Grimes. He might have been the vice captain at the time, or I think it just Carl Cheney couldn't believe what he saw. He had to tell someone. And
Right.
then when word gets out,
Yeah, you're in trouble.
week and a half later, we had back when leadership groups were 20 people. I had a semicircle of 11 leaders.
Oh, no.
And they hit me up again. Deny. It's one of my favourite ones. They hit me up straight away and said, "Are you doing whatever it takes to be the best footballer you can be?" And I don't know I've been caught. And of course I said, "Yeah, I think I am. Obviously I'm injured at the moment, but I'm trying my best. I'm injured as well."
Jeez.
And then Brett Maloney was my hard left. Goes
Beamer.
Yeah. So you weren't having a cigarette on the way to training? I go, "Nah, not me. I don't know what you're talking about." And then they go, "So you're calling ex-player a liar?" I said, "Oh, right, I had one." But then I threw everyone under the bus. I said, "Mum and Dad smoke every day. They've never had a cigarette in their life." I threw everyone under the bus I could. But to your point,
Yes.
a lot of learnings from that one. But also now I know that young kids come in from all over Australia and they're as rare as anything. They're not just this private school typical 18-year-old that comes in. We get kids from all over Australia, and some of them aren't just walk-up professional players, and it does make you balance as a leader. There's more to it. Like I've been in contract, I've been out of contract, I've been injured, I've been really poorly injured.
Yep.
I've been playing horrible football in the VFL. I had one handball in a game against Footscray one day. That was in my 5th or 6th year. I've been playing good games in the VFL and not getting picked. I've been dropped 9 times. So there's a lot to my career that makes me a little bit more balanced now when you come across some young kids.
What a tapestry. That's on my notes too, right? And I reckon I was starting out as a reporter 2011. Was that your first year? Or you been earlier?
2011 is my first game, but 2010 is my first year.
Yeah, okay. So back then, I don't know if you've heard, but I played a little bit of state league, 43 state league games. So I thought I was, in the end, compared to you guys, I'm shit. But compared to the average mug journo, I could just have a bit of an opinion. And I watched you train one day and I go, he's a shit house. At this stage, I'm angry now, 23 years on, that I didn't get to play.
Yeah.
But this is only 10 years on, so I've
Really?
still got the shits, right? And I'm thinking, you're out there, and Jackie Spencer, who works at Mazda now, good man. And I'm going, he's just there because he's big. He's no good, right? And normally I get these right. I haven't got too many wrong. But I'll tell you what, fuck, I got you wrong. Because you
To
are
be
a
fair,
bloody star.
young rucks in particular, we get years on lists that we shouldn't earn sometimes. Like I should have got the arse after 3 years. But the fact that I was 208 centimetres and took a mark every now and then in the VFL, we're like, let's maybe persist a little bit. Maybe get him off the darts, and that could help. 2015, what's that? 2010 to 15, 6 years. So it was 6 years when I finally started playing some good footy in the AFL. So it's a pretty long journey.
When did you believe, though? I mean, and I'm not pissing in your pocket. You're probably the best ruckman of the last 25 years. And you've just said then you're running around on a list getting one handball in a VFL game. Did you always have an inner belief that you could be an all-time great or just thrive in this tough competition, or did it just happen over time?
The handy thing that I had was I was playing reasonably good VFL football from day one.
Right.
So I had some bad games. That was actually in my not long before I finished VFL and played AFL for the rest of my career. It was a one handball game. But early on I was coming up against guys like Ben Hudson in the VFL and performing quite well. So I had a bit of belief.
Player, Benny Hudson, tough.
But we're talking off air before that there was 7 rucks on the list when I got there, and get ready for some household names. We had Mark Jamar, All-Australian 2010. The
Russian.
So I walked into the team and he got All-Australian that first year.
Yep.
Then Paul Johnson, John Meeson, Jake Spencer, Steph Martin, Jack Fitzpatrick and myself.
Yeah, right.
So we had 7 there. So I was
But all
playing.
play a bit in your own way.
Yeah, we're all extremely different. Steph's played 200 games. Jake Spencer was a 10-year player, life member, only played 30 or 40 games.
Yep.
Fitzy, if you know Jack Fitzpatrick, has shared his semi-final heroics against Collingwood about 26 times on his Instagram. Paul Johnson, John Meeson are probably the two that got away. But John Meeson was highly touted. He's now a playing manager.
Yeah,
I
he
think.
is. Yeah. He was a high draft pick, Meso.
Yeah, so we had 7 rucks. So I was playing twos. I was a long way back. And then one day my debut came along against Bombers, fun fact. Everyone fell over. So Mark Jamar fell over, Jake Spencer fell over, and I was playing twos, and I went from twos to VFL ones to AFL in 3 weeks.
There you go.
That's great.
You touched on your off-field a little bit there, Gawny. Is there something you can credit for a complete turnaround, or is there an off-field habit or a little tidbit that you really held you in good stead to play good footy?
The main one I found early was trying to find who I was. I had a lot of coaches, football managers and whatnot trying to put me into this mould of this player that they thought I could be. But no one ever really said, you can go be Max Gawn. So I was sort of having this identity crisis for my first sort of 4 or 5 years. The main one is they wanted me to be Aaron Sandilands. And I'm nowhere near as strong as Aaron Sandilands. And to be fair, not as tall as Sandilands. And he's incredibly different player to what I wanted to be. And I was trying to mould myself into him. And then it's hard enough playing footy as it is, let alone trying to be someone you're not. So I was trying to work out and be strong, and as much as people would fight back and coaches would go, we want you this way, be strong, go, no, I reckon I'm this type of player. Once again, I got a lot of time on the list to be able to make that decision. Sometimes midfielders only get 1 year to be able to try and impress, but sticking to the person I wanted to be was the main one. And then when I finally got my chance at AFL, I think it was more chance, to be honest. I was always second. My first 40 games, I think Mark Jamar played in, so I was always that forward ruck. And then I eventually got a chance just to have a crack by myself.
I talk to these boys a lot about presence. I would say more presence than Santa, like as a big guy. And then I reckon I overplay this a bit with big guys. You have to be aggressive and mean, which I'm starting to think after talking to Goldie, and even the way you play, I think I've been talking a lot of bullshit for about 20 years. Is it fair to say you're not overly mean? You're just really good. Okay, you never give up the battle, but I haven't ever seen you punch someone or try to hurt. What do you base your game on? Like when you look yourself in the mirror and go, yeah, I earned my paycheck today and I was proud of myself. What's it based on? You
can be Tristan Terry and Shane Mumford and these sort of big guys, Brodie Grundy, I played on the weekend, these big aggressive rucks, and there's still a place for that. Kieran Briggs, these guys are playing some seriously good footy.
Yep.
You have to be competitive as fuck. Like you have to not want to ever lose a contest. I think the best rucks are always that way inclined, and I've certainly got that. I hate losing one hit out, let alone lose a marking contest or anything like that. So I've definitely got that, but there's certainly so many. If you had time, and I'm sure we do on the 200 centimetre plus podcast, but you go through all 18 rucks. They're all different.
Yeah.
You don't have to just be that a really aggressive guy, and that was one of the people they were trying to mould me into. And I'm aggressive, but I don't really have that aggressive bones in my body.
It's not a fake aggression.
Yeah, I had 9 tackles on the weekend, and I do not know how the fuck I got 9 tackles because I regularly have 1 or 2.
Yeah,
but I got 9 on the weekend. But Nankervis, Cherry, Briggs, they're tough opponents to play. But I give you Rowan Marshall, Tim English, Tom DeConing, these sort of guys who play it slightly different, although DeConing's very aggressive. That do it slightly different, and they all get to that common goal.
Speaking of Mark Jamar, it's kind of come full circle now. He's back. He's your ruck coach now. How's that been going?
He's a funny guy, Rush. He always seems to manage to the centre bounce bag holding is a unique, thing. It's a learning. It really is a learning. I can't do it. But he, all you really want from your ruck coach is like you want a bit of confidence from the bag. He steps you 1 in every 3. It's like, yeah, we get it. You can step us, but like I'm trying to get some confidence on the ruck bag. But he was honestly, he beat me up for 5 years. Like I did not win a hit out of training for 5 years. He was so strong, and I tell him that now. Like that taught me how to be aggressive within a ruck contest and whatnot. And he could beat Nick Nat at 197 centimetres back when the ruck rules were both players jump. And J-Mark could beat him by just putting that knee right into him. So he knows his craft.
Yeah, he loves his craft. You sit down pre-training?
Yeah, his vision sessions go for a little bit long. We got a young ruck, Will Verrill, 21-year-old. And Russian loves him. Yeah. Like they're hand in hand together.
Yeah. No, he was my ruck coach from the start of my career, and I loved spending time with Rush. I was pretty sad when he left the other year. So you got a good one there. But speaking of him, I messaged him earlier asking for anything I can chat to you about, and he did bring up something back in the day. You guys used to drive across to the Casey Aquatic Centre and you gave him a lift one day, and he did notice.
Deny.
He said there's a bit of dust on the dashboard there, and like you said, you threw everyone on the bus. You said it was your brother. He was a big smoker. It wasn't you. And
J-Mar believed me.
Yeah.
Russian believed me. He still brings it up today. He goes, I believed you for a couple of months until that story got out that was your brother's car. Fun fact, that's where we used to have to do a 2-kilometre drive to be able to do a swim session.
Yeah.
Funny
club yours.
Yeah, I had to hide my car keys a lot because they used to do a lot of skits. And like one of the skits was pretend to dress up as a young player and like you're coming out of their car. I wanted no one near my car because it stunk like that. So I had to sort of hide my car keys a little bit, park a little bit far away from Junction Oval. I don't know what I was doing. I wasn't ready for footy.
Yeah, he also said that he invited you round to his place with Maloney in Windsor one time, and the boys were pretty happy with their place. And then you went out on the balcony and said, "Good balcony, better if it had a view."
Yeah, I was.
Beamer was furious.
Beamer was furious. Yeah, Mark J-Mar. This is a guy who knows the system extremely well.
Yes.
He organised a barbecue at his house. And it was a worker bee at the same time. So they invited your genuine volunteers of the club, the ankle tapers, the water boys, and they all came and they all were helping him build his decking while he put on a barbecue. And that's all he did.
That's a smart man.
Yeah.
Kudos. Right. He's in building now, isn't he? The big rush.
He's in building.
Yeah.
He is in building.
Do you want to tell your Mark J-Mar story?
Well, I was going to say, was he a bit of a mentor to you after hours, Jackie Epstein style? Because I'm about his age, and my goodness gracious me, he had a bit going on off field in the early 2000s.
He's happily married.
No, he is now, and as am I. There was one night where I was unceremoniously flung into a wall by a couple of real heavies. Like I'm talking neck tats and
is that Wayne Kind?
Really good biceps. I reckon there's a bit of peptide going on, and I near shat myself. I said, "What the fuck have I done here?" Like it was going to be on, and then one grabbed me and just had a full look at my profile and goes, "No, it's not him. It's another bloke who was Rush, who had apparently had been a bit intimate with the heavies girls." And I said, "Rush and Jesus, mate."
He's famous for doing some good stuff with jeans and runners.
Fair combo.
He looked good. Have you ever seen him in a suit? He's actually a really good looking fella.
Very handsome.
He is. He's got a beautiful jaw.
Yeah, he does. And they thought you were him.
Yeah, back then.
Probably the best compliment you've ever had.
Oh, he's not a bad looking
Pennywise?
man. Anyway, we got on with it. I just said, "Look, mate, I don't know what you're doing, but grow your hair or something because the next time I might not be so lucky."
Well, he had blonde. I think he had blonde tips in
this was probably about 04. Yeah. So he was probably running around in the Scooby still at this stage. He didn't strike it till about 06.
His first contract was $12.5 grand.
Fair income. Yeah, that's shit money,
He's
isn't it?
part-time at the Bentley Club.
On the probably rookie list, was it? Out of North Adelaide.
Jeez, not much there.
I am not sure if he wanted
these days.
Do you reckon he wanted his first contract and his jeans and runners story told just unwillingly tonight?
Yes, get it out.
He's a big fan of the show.
He's been on.
He has been on.
Can I wrote one down here, name, while I go back to your leadership, because I'm a bit obsessed by it, because I think it's important to not only the nerdy captains of the AFL to go and just get a few warts, and you don't necessarily have to have a dart, but you need to do something relatable, okay, because you're the best captain. James Harms, did you kind of save him? I don't know if James told me this when we were having a few beers once, but he reckons he felt he was a little bit on the outer early doors, and I hope I'm not sort of speaking out of school, but he's gone and had a great career. He's a premiership player and he's going well now, so I'm not hurting him. But he said he quoted yourself and Bernie Vince for getting around him a bit for whatever he was doing, probably a bit of a lout. Like you were saying, not your typical private school kid that 9 to 5 completely professional, but he said that you guys had a big impact on making him believe in himself and realising that you can be a bit different in this game.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's over the moon that an off-the-record chat has managed
well, I don't know
to make it on the record, but...
Well, I don't think I'm hurting him.
No, I don't.
If I am, we'll cut it out.
No, certainly not with Harmsy. He was probably similar to what I was just saying then, how we get given 6 years. He was a rookie and had to perform and was playing some good VFL footy, and definitely he had to sort of shape himself into the right person. Still, like I said, you want to be into the best version of Harmsy. You don't want to shape him into Jack Viney for no reason. You want to shape him into Harmsy, but just creating those boundaries to make him the best footballer possible. he had a shaky first couple of years, but there's multiple people that are in that same category, and he's now a premiership player and playing some pretty good footy at the Doggies. So he's had a very, very good career.
Okay. Nerdy footy one for me. D's culture that since Gary Pert made that comment on radio, which I think was a bit unfair, by the way, but it's just been like a punching bag.
Sure.
Right? Because you had a few fuck-ups and a couple of punch-ups at restaurants and an indiscretion
Just one
or two.
punch-up at a
Well, there you go. Just one.
Good correction.
You have been the face. You've always stood up for your club. When the shit hits the fan, you're the one that'll bowl up and take the doorstop interviews or whatever. And on a whole, you do seem proud of the culture at the Demons. Is that fair? Or has it tested you at times?
Not many captains do 2 regular spots on Triple M every single week. So I sort of I felt for the club at the same time. Like they're constantly having me coming out and talking about it because I'm on Triple M. I'm sure they wanted to do it different ways, but I'm also incredibly proud of the group and incredibly one-eyed Melbourne as well. So probably not the best person to talk about it, like I said, because I'm one-eyed Melbourne, so I can't really see what everyone else is saying. But I was always bullish about what we had inside our 4 walls, and there's certain things that you can't deny. Obviously, there's some stories around. There's the Joel Smith one, then there's the Entrecot fight. There's some stuff that you actually have to talk about and you have to apologise for, and you have to say we'll get better, and that happens internally as well. But from an overall point of view, the people that I feel sorry for are Melbourne supporters because they don't get to see the day-to-day operations of what's happening inside the 4 walls. And that's what I got to see. So my job was to tell those supporters it's okay. Like what I'm seeing is pretty damn good. We've got some stuff going on over here that we can't deny that, and we've got to fix that. But internally, it's a pretty cool place to be.
And that's what I reckon Gary Pert was saying too. He's no deal. He'd been around footy 40 years. Was a gun player himself. He'd been at Collingwood. What is it? Because I had empathy for you. I kind of knew what he meant, right? You know, you can do so many things right. We watch you train. As a media performer, I watch you train. You always go hard. There's sometimes blood on the track with you blokes. And I'm going, there's not that much wrong. And then there'd be a fuck up or a fight or, the Smith indiscretion, and it kind of undoes it all. What is the best thing about the Monday to Friday culture? Like what when you're on the radio and when Gary Pert was trying to get across, what is it?
Yeah, look, it's tough to get out in words. It's very similar to what everyone would walk into at a football club Monday to Friday. Some things that we've sort of picked up on the last 2 or 3 years is players driving their own career. There's your type A players, and there'll always be those players like Jack Viney who'll just love to run through a brick wall and do 4,000 touches of the football before every game. And then there's your type B players like Ed Langdon who'd rather read a book in a park with the sunshine bathing on him before a game, and they finish first best and fairest and third best and fairest. So there's a way to do it. You can do it. Sorry, there's a certain thing that we expect, but there's so many different ways to get to that point. And that's sort of where we're driving at the moment. And what we've created, although we're 0-5, I think that the podcast comes out next week, so who knows what we'll be. But at the moment, we're 5-6. So technically, we've won 5 out of our last 6. Yeah. And you have to be a pretty strong group to be able to turn around 0-5 and be able to come back and do that. So I'm pretty confident that we have the right group to be able to not necessarily get to the pinnacle. That's something that I'd love to do, but a group that when I'm retiring in 2.5 years, and I can't fucking wait, but I'll be retiring soon, and when I walk out, I'll be happy. I'll be happy with where the group's at. And I'm pretty confident we'll get to that point where we're going to be a group that attracts players, keeps players, families are proud that their sons play there, and will be a cool club to be at.
Yeah, well answered.
Gawny, I want to take you back to the grand final. You've touched on how proud you are to play it at Melbourne. Was it bittersweet playing that over in Perth, and what were the feels around that game, not having played that in Melbourne in front of a supporter base that had been, had a drought for so many years?
I keep saying, like, you got us to 0-5, but you got us to 0-2 single-handedly.
Oh, you kept vomiting to him.
Coppos on us.
And he shat himself early too.
I dropped a few
dropped
early.
his lollies.
There's the jocks.
Was that from our game?
I changed them at half time. Yeah.
Changed the jocks and he came out like Superman.
Yeah, then you came back. Yeah, so there's a couple of ways you can look at it, and I do look at it from both ways. The first one is I'm never going to say it's bittersweet just because how hard it is to win a grand final.
Of course.
So that's the cards we got dealt, and I mean, this is a biased point of view, and probably no one in the world other than Melbourne, the 23 Melbourne players thinks this, but it's almost harder and cooler the fact that we won this one.
Yeah.
Like we're over in Perth. We got to run around Perth as a group of there was 46 players plus 20 odd staff. So a group of 70 just rolling around Perth for a week, keep acting like genuine rock stars. Like
Putting goodie on your shoulders.
Putting goodie on your shoulders. You probably don't get that in Melbourne because you've got family and friends
Yeah.
and people are going left, right and centre. So we got a pretty cool, unique one. But then the other part is like my mum and dad call me after every game. They attend every game. They've been there since juniors. They've been there for the lowest of lows, and then when I'm at my pinnacle, the highest of highs, I've had to Skype them post. Well, not Skype. I had to FaceTime. I didn't Skype them.
MySpace.
Got on the webcam and I had to FaceTime them, and it's like, that's a bit flattening. Like Jess is, I'm flat. It was pretty hardcore COVID as well. I think Jess was watching it by herself. So the FaceTime with Jess, she obviously wasn't over the moon with how I was carrying on, and she was just chilling back at home. So that was weird, but I'm certainly not two ways about it. I'm that happy that I've been able to participate in a grand final and win one. It's just ours was in Perth. Ours was that cool one that was over in Perth. Yeah.
Probably your second biggest win was last year in round 15 against us. Do you remember anything specifically from that game?
You died, didn't you?
No, that was the year before.
He died.
That was 2023.
Okay.
I'm more referring to at halftime. We had a bit of a scuffle. It got played out on our podcast. You actually ripped me off. One of the boys said, "What the fuck are you doing, mate?" It threw me like probably 20 meters.
And I'm not a massive fighter, so you must have been doing something.
No, someone got into PC and I kind of ran in, and you honestly, you grabbed me by one arm, just carried me out quite easily. So I think that got a bit of a run in the podcast.
The one thing I don't like is when there is like a little bit of a scrap and a ruck goes in, the other ruck wants you dead.
Oh, yeah.
If one ruck goes in, especially if you ever get in a Richmond fight, Nank looks at you and goes, he's getting out right now and comes hard at you.
Widowmaker.
That's great. There was one in our game this year when we played him. We were just a bit further off. And we kind of looked at each other and went, it wasn't that bad, was it? Like, because Nick Martin hit someone late.
Yeah, there was
and
a
then
little one, wasn't
we
there?
just kind of trickled in and just
we just
Stop
pretended.
it.
Yeah.
Get out of it, boys.
I got involved in one actually on the weekend. Just a tiny little one. But Brody didn't want to be in there at all, so he was like shepherding me. Like, no, we're not going in. And then I got in, and then there was a little tug.
He's gone a bit like Zen. Like when he started at Collingwood, he was an aggressive cat. Like almost like overboard, but I liked it. I used to sort of watch him and get all fizzed up. He seems, and he's probably in a good place in his life, but a lot more calm. The old Brody's tearing in there and ripping skull.
Did you play him this year?
No.
Last year.
So
He's
still got
certainly
it?
still aggressive.
Still, okay.
Yeah.
He's playing quite good footy.
I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying, he was like a 280 sort of hip thrust type person. He's the strongest person I've seen in the gym. We're all sitting there like on a flush run day doing like an 80 kilo box squat, and a box squat, I'm talking like we're not even moving that far.
Yeah, that much.
And he's just over there just hip thrusting 300. You're like, okay, this guy's strong. Yeah, we've been texting today, funny enough, because it was quite a fun game that Brody and I played in, but there was like 90 stoppages, and in those stoppages, it was like 30 ball ups. We were just wrestling for so long, and the umpires got involved sometimes and gave away free kicks, and we're both just saying we just want to wrestle.
Yes,
just let us wrestle.
Ruck fuck we call it.
Yeah, it was genuine wrestle. I'm not a big wrestler. I kind of like just both of stand apart and we'll have a hide off and see who wins it. But obviously that people would know I'll win that because I'm the tallest. So Brody got right in there, and it was just. I was cooked. I was genuinely cooked on the weekend.
Fair. What can you hip thrust? You've got no ass, and you've got no ass. I want to know. Are you a hip thruster?
Yeah, up close to 200.
That's not.
No,
You've
you've
done
done
280.
Yeah, I
You've
didn't
done
get that
more than
up.
200.
It's disappointing.
I reckon I've done a 220.
You've got a
don't do
peanut bum.
I don't have an ass.
You're bumless.
I'm flat back.
I do it on the machine. I don't like the barbell.
Yeah, hip thrust is
That's
more
you
about
gotta
how
use
much
the
you
blue
can handle on
pads.
your actual hip
Yeah.
rather than how much you can lift.
Yeah.
We use those big blue foam pad things. I use them. They help.
Are you like a ruck nerd? Like, do you like to talk? I mean, this podcast started, and we were probably heading the same way as Rish and Rath if we continued this
we were
way.
in trouble.
That it was supposed to be like for rucks and talking weird ruck shit.
Big target audience.
But it's a very small audience.
Very small audience.
Luckily, it's manifested. But there's still a little bit of it.
It's similar to making and selling your own shin guard. It's a small audience.
Yeah. We had a sponsor, a shin guard sponsor for a while. They were very good, but they go, we have no cash. Cash, no.
Yeah.
We'll just flick out the odd shin guard. Are you into it? Like, do you watch the other rucks? Are you mates with them? Do you always have a bum tap at the end?
I certainly know what most rucks are doing.
Yep.
When I was in the peak, like sort of 26, 27, I knew what all the VFL Sandful Waffle rucks were doing as well.
Love that.
I don't have that as much anymore. That's pretty hard to follow, but certainly the 18 starting rucks now and even the backups to all of them, I'd have a rough idea of how they're playing, what their tendencies are.
Big Braden Crosley, big goober. Do you know the big goober?
I do. I played on him in his third or fourth game. It was a Melbourne v Gold Coast at a neutral ground at the Gabba, so you can imagine how many were there.
Heaps.
I remember Stephen May was at Gold Coast at the time, and we were doing our warm-up an hour before, and we crossed paths, and he goes, "You think this crowd's big? Wait till you see how many tune in from home." It's so right. Chris. It was such an off-Broadway game, Melbourne v Gold Coast at the Gabba. And I played Crosley. He was that guy, and I've heard he's a lovely guy. But these first centre bounce against me, he was doing these ones from 5 metres away, staring at me.
That's what we want. That's why we want him back in the comp.
This guy's coming in hot. I don't think he came in hot, but he was breathing down my throat that day. I haven't played him since though.
No, well, you've been in the big league.
Are you
Which
aware
would hurt, Gooby.
Are you aware that you still have never bounced the football?
Very aware.
Yeah. Do you want to tick that off?
No, well, I'm presuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, AFL should last for another 1,000 years, even more. Like, it's got a long time ahead of it. We're still at the infancy of AFL.
Yeah.
The infancy of life. We won't go down that. That's a totally
rabbit
different
hole.
podcast, but that's a rabbit hole we won't get out of.
That's Tom Barras areas.
But I would like to have a record that potentially lasts for a long time, and that's my one.
So we can tell Cinch Footy that it's not going to happen.
It may happen in my last game because that would be I can't do any more in that record. But I'd love to get if I've done a 280 games no bounce, that may last for a good
impressive.
500
You
years.
should take the piss and touch it on the ground.
Or pretend to do
Just
it.
do a
Pretend to do it. That's a chance. I mean, there was a strong WhatsApp rumours, which we all love. The Goody had $1,000 on me and come to my house at 3 a.m. and needed me to bounce the ball. And my pregnant wife was telling
last
me
leg of the multi.
Yeah, I love WhatsApp rumours.
Didn't hear it from me, but
And there has been heaps on Melbourne in the last 5 years, and that was one of them. But no, I mean, I doubt you can bounce. I doubt you can bet on a bounce of the football.
You probably could.
You
somewhere.
probably could.
You could
Do you
find
know you can
a market.
bet, and I'm sorry, let's be careful here, but you can bet on the first disposal of the game.
Yeah.
Rucks can so...
You knew that.
No, well, I don't. I'm very professional. I don't bet on the games I'm involved with.
Rucks could seriously get involved there.
just
I'm not
go all
saying
out and
anything's
start
happened, but
rabbit.
we could seriously get involved. But
Jesus.
no, that's another rabbit hole we're not going down.
We talked about the ruck fraternity, and it's a real thing. And I think you live the values very well. Someone I looked up to in my career from the start, but you sent a nice message to me. I don't know if you remember when I did my knee in 2019, and it made a big impact on me, and it was really nice. But the funny thing was, I don't know if you remember, my old man sent you a text as well.
I did.
Because I sent the screenshot and had your number saved, and I said, "Oh, look what Gawny sent." And out of nowhere, Dad's like, "Yeah, I've just sent him a text too." And I'm like,
That's brilliant. It was the most beautiful.
What did he say?
Reply. I forget what it was, but it was something along the lines of "Thank you so much. You don't know how much this means." And I'm like, "Oh, that's beautiful. Like the family's fully involved," and I enjoyed it. And then you abused my number later on at the Burleigh Pavilion a couple of years later.
yeah, we were exchanging texts of who we should trade to each other's teams.
My number got abused then, and then I've had to send another text now with another injury.
Unfortunately, yeah. And you reached out to Nick Bryan as well, which is
Well, I
which is
did
really,
cause that one, so I think so. I think I pushed him
Too strong.
Yeah, I think I pushed him at the same time as his knee twisted.
Needs to do some bum thrusts.
But yeah, the ruck fraternity's alive and well, Butsy, which
Good
you'd
to
love
hear.
to know.
What about the media, Maxi? What are your thoughts there? Because you've always fronted to the media. Have you got beef with anyone you've called out the odd journo or two?
I've called out a couple, especially recently.
Clua?
But I just feel like I can protect my teammates as much as I can. So I will, but I'm completely for example, Kane.
Yep.
A lot of his stuff is fine because he just talks about if I'm out of form, I expect someone to tell me that.
Yeah, Chom's like that. He agrees with that.
So that's completely fine. It's when they the Clayton one was when they were they were sort of debating why he was mentally unstable. It's like, what a weird topic and a weird thing to be able to bring up in this world where we're trying to normalise men stepping aside for mental health. I just found that one weird. And I've got lucky enough, I've got a platform to be able to say it on Triple M twice a week. So I do. My relationship with the media is fine. I actually like footy media. I follow it every now and then, especially if we've had a win and I've played a blinder. Monday, you find yourself, fuck, I'm watching Agenda Setters. That's weird.
Right the highs, shun the lows.
Shun the lows. I remember I missed a goal in 2018 to win the game against Geelong. And I poked my head above water for a little bit to see what the Twitter sphere was saying. Like, fucking, was someone saying that was a ripping mark by Max in the last? No, they were all talking about the missed opportunity. And I remember I got off Twitter for a few weeks. I said, I'm not going back on. And then I was round 5. I had 5 and kicked. I had 30 and kicked 5 or something. And got right back on Twitter straight away. So I do love it. In terms of where I want to go post footy, I'd love to get involved in media still, but I'm not a big fan of like the tactical nuance of the game.
Thank God. Yeah. Nor am I.
I could not find myself sitting there in the commentary booth going, Essendon are beating Melbourne because of their inside 50 retention rate.
Yeah.
Like that. It would just bore myself.
Breaking down on transition.
I'd certainly love the angle, and hopefully this can become something, but the angle Fev's gone down, Billy Brownless, these sort of guys, and they both don't do any footy. Yep. They just do Monday to Friday radio.
Footy characters. Yeah, but we've had those since Lou Richards and Bobby Davis in the day. They went to Lou Richards actually he was a really good caller, but they really made their mark having fun with the game. Yeah. You'd be bloody good at that.
But I don't want to call.
No,
talking about off-field, do you have a wine bar?
I do.
Do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah, East End Wine Bar in Camberwell. That's 6 years old now. So they say in hospitality once you get to 5, you're set. So that one is set. And then we've got a second one now called Motor on the top part of Glenferrie Road, kind of near where the schools start. That's more of a restaurant.
MLC, is that?
Nah, I wouldn't even. I'm not a private boy, so I don't know. I think it might be Xavier.
I know what you mean.
Carey's up there somewhere.
You know Butts Nose. Quarters it Butts Nose, yeah,
they're up there somewhere.
Northern suburbs boy.
How'd that come about?
I always wanted to get into hospo. My mum is in hospo and has been for years. Funny enough, you do what your parents normalise. And my parents made hospitality seem like the best job ever. It's not. It's a horrible job. But to be fair, I'm on the good part of the job where I just put money in and hopefully get money back. I'm not really in there at 5 a.m. baking. My mum normalised hospo and made it seem incredibly cool, and it's something I always wanted to do. So an opportunity came up with 2 mates to start a wine bar. And like I said, I got a little bit hands-on probably early, but then I sort of sit back and just look from afar. My job is to sort of sit at the bar every now and then, especially when I'm hot in form. And then the restaurant is a tougher scale. There's a bigger scale. There's a whole lot more staff. East End sort of 1 behind the bar, where restaurants are 6 in the kitchen and 5 extra staff. So it's a bigger scale, and it's kind of cool to get involved in that as well.
Mm-hmm. What food are you serving at Motor?
We got a steak night on Wednesday nights.
Beautiful. Special?
It's special. That's a burgundy and beef and burgundy. I think I got it the wrong way around.
Bourguignon.
Yeah, so that's a nice little mix. But yeah, it's more just nice Australian share plates.
Yeah,
a little bit of Italian flavour in there every now and then. The main feature is we got a fire oven, so slightly similar to wood-fired pizza, but it's basically just a grill. Like you're on your outdoor campfire. It costs us a shitload. If you've ever been to a place called Embla in the city, they cook with fire. So that's the main thing. Everything you'll eat is cooked with fire.
That's Chom's Nugget for this week. Get down a Motor on Glenferrie Road. Thank you.
Is that a segment?
Yeah, it is. Segment.
You've just covered it.
You might have to go in there.
Sponsored, but it's a segment.
You might have to
it's
get
very
in there,
popular.
Yeah.
Maxie, your whole attitude towards your footy media, then riding the good with the bad, is it? Do you effectively just try all the fruits, and that even includes darts on the way to training of this existence? Is there some advice to give to players here about that fret about the media and fret about the negative commentary and probably injuries? And you've been through all the shit and tasted the ultimate as well. What would you say to a talented young player who's only 2 or 3 years into their career?
Yeah,
don't stress.
Yeah, the main thing is, what did you love about football in the first place?
Yeah.
and keep that going the whole time. Like we live an unbelievable life. Like I've been 17 years. I've been walking into the Melbourne Football Club. Like how many people get to do that? No. So to have that sort of view on life, and I had that when I was lucky. My knee recos came when I was on 50 grand and 70 grand. Like I was a young kid who still was like, if I wasn't here, I'd be working out at Fitness First at 5 a.m. and then probably being a tradie. So
grateful.
This is pretty cool. I get to come in here and watch these guys train and work. I've never been badly injured and been on like a high income. Probably some of you, not saying you're on a high income, but you hopefully are. I've never had an injury at that part of my life, like right in my prime.
Yep.
I sympathise with those people, but still, I think that view still lives. Like, why do we play football? It's to bring joy to the people around me. And if I can keep that feeling going while doing it, yeah, you got to ride all the bumps and bruises.
Final one for me. It's a bit Jackie Epstein-y, but I have to ask it. Geez, you've been staunch with Clary in having his back. And he's one that I mentioned you looked sort of happy and there was a bit of weight off your shoulders. My God, he's got it going again. Yeah, if we read the reports, he was halfway to Geelong. He was over you blokes. He was blueing with the coach. He wanted more game time. And you've made that to seem like a big crock of shit in the last couple of weeks.
For good on-field banter, the Geelong game, Clayton was having a shot from about 55 and I was next to Reece Stanley in danger. And I sort of said, so you're telling me Clayton was going to go to Geelong. He went to your house, Reece. You cooked him dinner and then he wanted to stay. What the fuck did you cook him? No, that was a good little laugh. He ended up missing the goal and we lost by a couple of kicks. But this obviously the podcast. I don't know when this comes out, but against who did we just play? Sydney. Clayton got clapped off the ground, and I actually shedded a tear on the field. It was beautiful to see that. He hasn't. He smiles throughout his games, and we know he's having fun. But to tell the whole world he was having fun, that's a pretty cool moment. He's been through the absolute ringer. He's parks himself away from AFL media, but it always still gets its way in through loved ones, through teammates at the club, family. They're always saying, did you see what he said? Did you see what he said? And it's constantly poked and prodded him for sort of 2 or 3 years. And he's not been in the best form as well. He's doing some great things for us this year, which is exciting. But to see him go back out there and kick a goal from 50, it was a sealer at the time. We kicked a few post that, but and then get the standing ovation for the MCC. That's pretty special.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
well done.
going to take you in a different direction, Gawny. You love your travelling. Yep. Big fan of cycling as well. I love travelling. I reckon getting away from football at the end of the year and going experiencing different cultures and really delving into different countries and what makes them tick, I think is really special. What are your favourite memories travelling? Cycling-wise, how have you married that? Have you been on some rides overseas?
Yeah, I've done some cool stuff recently on the bike. That came from my knee recos. I was sort of... I already did a bit of cycling as a young kid, but once I got a couple of bad knees, I got my love-hate relationship with the watt bike. It became love. Like I really did love it. Then I started to love the sport as well. But recently I went to Saudi Arabia last year and did a 5-day mountain bike.
Yeah, well.
Which is pretty cool. This year it looks like I might be Patagonia.
Yeah,
I might be going
epic.
to for another 5-day mountain bike ride. I've got a partner in crime in Ed Langdon who comes with me.
Yeah.
I've ridden up all the famous climbs that the Tour de France would do.
Yeah.
Europe is the
Stelvio? Have you done the Stelvio?
Done the Stelvio.
I did that.
And I did
You
it
died.
on a 19-degree day.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just before the ski season started, so the roads were quiet, and it was basically just me, Ed Langdon, and the Stelvio.
Beautiful.
It was so good. So that was. Did
you have to stop?
No. Did you stop?
I did. I sort of bowled into a pub halfway.
Yeah, there is a little
and
halfway
got a
house.
Coke.
Yeah.
I was fucked.
Yeah, there's a halfway house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was good,
Ed's slightly smaller than me, so he was beating me, and he stopped there, but I kept riding, and then he caught me again. But
Strong quads. They are. They're full.
yes, I've been groped.
Please get your hands off our guest.
But yes, I travel every single time, and I tell all the young guys in your off season. I mean, money comes and goes, and now I ideally save as well. But the best thing you can do as a young lad is get overseas and go experience the world. So I encourage all our boys to go. And COVID cooked it for a few years there for a lot of our young guys. But I really push them.
You certainly do that.
That's very good advice.
Yeah.
I'm a
Push it to
spender.
the nth degree. You know?
Yeah, I do.
Deep down, I'm definitely
I love
a
my
spender.
travel.
Do you try to? I get into him a little bit as like he's like a surrogate footy father, right? And sometimes I go, Charlie, do you need to go the whole 8 weeks or whatever you get off? You know, I'm thinking. Oh no, well, hang on, I haven't asked a
Well,
question.
for example, I'm going to Queenstown tomorrow.
I know. That's okay. That's mid-season. But, and I'm asking you because you're getting towards the end of your career, and no matter what now, you're probably a Hall of Fame player. Do you have the attitude where you just try to pick up something in the off-season or come back a little bit better each year? Or do you just let it roll?
Well, the annoying
A
thing
lot
is,
of these young kids just want to let it roll, take the program.
yeah.
I don't want him to be a take the program guy.
You can do that.
Well, every single year,
Tell me how.
every single year you have to come back better. Like that's almost the way it is. So, but there's so many ways to get better.
Okay.
And I think easily the best I've come back is when I take my program, take it overseas, and do it somewhere in the middle of Spain.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That is the best I come back. And especially that last 2 weeks when the 1 to 4 year boys are back, I always go away in that period.
Yeah.
I go to a 2 week training period, but it's always overseas. It has to be.
Well, they've got
No,
gyms
that's fair.
overseas, Nick. They're
No,
not just
I
they're
get
not
it.
just local to Australia, and there's running tracks.
I was seeing
too.
a lot of Schutzenfest and carry on with.
Well, there's that as well.
No,
You
I
start-
don't.
you start
I'm not
October
being. I'm
first.
not poo-pooing, having a good time.
I'm telling
here.
you right now, if I
fucking
went to
Prost.
Amy Park, if I went to Amy Park for the whole 12 weeks,
Nah,
and
you'd
got
be
as fit
bored
as I
and
could,
fucked.
there is no way I'm playing well.
No,
I'd retire
Fair,
mid-season.
fair. Okay.
What's the quote in your Insta bio? Is it still there?
There's a work like a captain, play like a pirate.
That's
Yeah,
the
I got
one.
that tattooed on my foot on a Mad Monday in 2011. To be fair, there's a tattoo parlour across the road from the Inkerman, great pub, the Inkerman. Not sure if it's still there. Could be.
I think it is.
And yeah, I probably shouldn't have got the tattoo on my, but I work like a captain, play like a pirate. To be fair, although I don't necessarily love the tattoo, it's still not a bad motto.
I like it.
The fact I've managed to get to captain since then is phenomenal. I was 100 to 1, but I got there.
And does the pirate just mean bring your angry head and
It's sort of.
rip up the rule book a bit on game day?
Well, how would you describe a pirate?
Risk taker,
Yep.
bit brave.
Yep. Do you reckon they're them? They are. Pirates are pirates.
Yeah, pirates. They are. They're leaders in their own way.
Yeah.
And they don't answer to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
You're inspiring me now.
So and a captain, the stereotypical view on a captain is to work hard.
Yep.
So it's almost
Regimented.
like a work hard, play hard without
Yeah.
having that.
Put it
I
in
think
a
I'm
more
going to get a
adventurous
tattoo
way.
too.
Tell you what, do you think we're nearly there? Should we go to? I've got a bit of a sting. Let's play the sting.
Oh,
off.
well, he's sort of running his own show here.
Oh, Moff, come on.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll cut it in. We'll cut it in. You'll like this one. I'll
Okay,
put a
mate.
fucking lot of work into it.
All right.
It is Charmy's Fast Five. It's gotta be quick and sharp. 5 quick questions and they're gonna hit the mark.
Good singing.
There is no time to think and there is no time to stall. Let's see if Gawny can answer them all of Charmy's Fast Five.
Very good, Moff.
Jesus, bit long.
We've got,
I would have thought.
we've got Chom's Fast
Not
Five
enough
here, Gawny. So I
Gawny's
just
up with it.
shut your big
Okay.
Pennywise mouth there and we'll get into it. So, number one in the Fast Five,
Yep.
current best opposition ruck.
Oh, you said this is harsh because I've got a non-fast five answer to this, but fast five.
Yeah,
current-
honestly, we'll make exceptions. Go on.
Well, there's so many different categories. So I reckon Tom DeConing's going to be the genuine GOAT. He has got everything that a ruckman needs. Right now, the hardest opponents I find are like a Jared Witts and Oscar McInerney. I find them incredibly honest. They're incredibly fit. They're both strong and they're both my height. So that's probably why they're my Achilles heel. And then it's a hard day following Tim English, hard day following Ronald Marshall, and then Tristan Cherry has come off the
gonna
map
beat
in the
you up
last
the
2
whole day.
years and is going to beat you up and take a mark on me in the goal scorer as well. So, and not to mention Drapes, who took a mark on
Your head.
6 weeks ago. So, I hopefully haven't left anyone out, but I've covered a few there.
You have covered a few. Go-to karaoke song.
Oh, I left out
Good
Darcy
question.
Cameron. I left out Darcy Cameron.
Oh, no.
All Australian squad.
He was good on the weekend against us,
I
too.
purposely left him out. so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not getting as
listening.
much attention
We'll send
about
that
it.
to him.
Apologies, Darcy. Best mark. He
does
Yeah, very good intercept. Go-to karaoke song.
Go-to karaoke song, it would be Everglow by Coldplay, maybe.
Yeah, nice.
Left field, like it.
Yep.
Very good. Worst dressed at the Melbourne Football Club.
Tom and Oscar. Oscar's a Freo now, but I'm happy to give him a joke while he's over there. Oscar wears Tom's hand-me-down. So Tom is the worst, but then Oscar's categorically the worst because he wears what Tom doesn't
no.
wear.
Describe the kit. What's a go-to kit for one of those boys?
It's it's like oversized. When he dresses up, it's oversized shoes with chinos, like that look.
Yeah. And the
And then
stripy
when he
shirt.
doesn't dress up, it's like it's bad Kmart $5 trackies.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
But
on him.
he is him, and he would not care. That
He
I
said
said
good
so.
meat. I like that. Big
Beautiful.
meat man.
Favorite restaurant in Melbourne apart from your own?
Well, I mentioned Embla, so that would be probably the one, Embla.
Beautiful. And last of all, favorite drop of wine.
Favorite drop of wine. I'm a Chardonnay guy at the moment.
Ooh,
And I've got a.
Very in
There's
east.
a world where there's an expensive Chardonnay which I like, which is in Burgundy, obviously.
Very nice. Lovely.
Moff, we've got these questions from the plumbers. Are these important to get to? I'm tipping they are. Really double time here, Maxi, but giving the plumbers great respect. So from Josh Sugden, what's an underrated thing about being a ruckman?
Underrated.
Yes.
Underrated right now, I think, is the fact that we're part of the team 18 on 18. But if our opponent plays well, it's purely our fault.
Yes, that's right.
In the world of the media and internal as well. So, like, I'm playing 18-man defense and 18-man offense, but if my opponent takes a mark on someone else and plays well, that's my fault somehow.
But the coaches would be like, no, just it's team defense. Like, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
until
but
it
watch
does.
him.
Correct.
Yeah,
You should not
happens
be
in
in
the back
team
line as well.
That's a crock of shit.
It's team defense.
Our
I
man
know, but that's a crock.
until he takes
yeah,
mark.
either a kick behind
That is yours.
in the hole or watching you. That's crap. See, that's coaches that have never played ruck.
Oh, that's got the next
Sorry.
one.
What were your training notes going up against Drapesy?
From Jason.
That's
Against-
from Jason.
Against Drapesy. Well, unfortunately, is it Drapesy? Do you like Drapesy?
On the podcast, we go Drapesy.
Drapesy.
Yeah.
Or Drapey.
Unfortunately, Drapesy used to jump a lot. Now he doesn't jump. And there's this, everyone's going down this path of not jumping.
Step across the
And I
line.
was
Take
hoping there
space.
was going to be a jump off, but he chose not to jump.
Nah.
And Brian, and his only one he did against me, I think, stayed down as well. So all my school notes were around centre bounce and staying down because I was a jumper and have been for a long time, and I've had to learn how to stay down.
Yeah.
So that would be the main one.
Just
And then
on that.
obviously he's marking PUS.
Yes. Beautiful.
Well, I was
athlete.
planning on playing forward that game.
You started forward, didn't you?
Start forward.
Yeah.
Actually, he took a couple marks before Nick went down, I think.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to see the jump?
Just
come
so
back?
everyone knows that those marks weren't on me. That was before Nick went down.
Leave me out.
We shook
one.
hands and didn't see each other for the rest of the day. We both played behind the ball for a bit.
Pretty much.
That's
It's
the way
nice.
it should be. Is the jump gone?
I hope
the
it comes
king.
back.
How can we bring it back though?
They need to
Everyone's-
tinker with the rules somehow. But
Yeah.
I get, like, it's incredibly effective what Kieran Briggs is probably the main one. He stays down every single. He actually stopped wearing a shin guard. Have you noticed that?
Oh,
Really?
that's
He
just-
started raw
that's
dogging.
Sickening.
But there's,
Jeez.
it's a genuine advantage. Like, he does it extremely well. So I get it. But I used to love, and I grew up watching rucks jump against each other, and I think it's quite a cool art. So I've got time for both, but I don't know how they make a rule that both can happen.
Because risk versus reward now. Because if you jump and then they shove you and grab it, you're just like a dickhead. So you just stay down. Yeah.
And I haven't done a PCL since they've taken the rule out. So
But if you wanna
unless
spike
Chom
one-
goes in the centre bounce, you're jumping against him.
No, I'm not bodying up.
Your only chance of fisting it to centre half forward is taking a jump. Like, can you still?
your most effective hit you can do is while jumping,
Yeah.
because you can hit to probably the whole circle when you jump, which hence why rucks tend to stay down, so they can negate and really focus on one area. But I just feel like I wonder how Nick Nat would go in today's game. He was incredibly strong, so I dare say staying down would suit him as well. But I wonder how a Nick Nat would go in today's game.
Wow, that's happened quick. A couple more.
Got
Chom,
one
you read 'em.
from Kynan.
Good
It
one,
is very good one. Is favorite vape flavor.
No, well, I'm not a vape. I was PJ Golds for a long time. So the cigarettes have like a ranking. Like there's sky blues that are like a 6, and then golds are a 10. Then the heavy ones are reds.
16s.
Yeah, 16s are they?
Blow your throat out.
I never made my way to the reds. Winnie Reds. That's just if you see someone having Winnie Reds, they've been smoking for 7 years, and their taste buds are gone.
Wayno's favorite.
So no, I never got into the Gen Z vaping. I was
Very good.
I was
That's
a PJ
offensive.
Gold. What's worse? I'm saying I'm a PJ Gold guy.
No, but you're a father, and I got a 4-year-old. How old's your oldest?
3.5.
3.5, right? And I'm thinking about this stuff now because I'm still a bit of a child. I'm going, there will be a time in the next decade where, darts are going to come into his life. And I'm saying to him, I would prefer you dart than vape.
Yeah, you know who are the big people that pot vaping? Cigarette smokers.
Yeah.
They say they're going to kill you, those vapes. And what are you doing? You haven't.
No, I reckon in time I can turn you. You'll feel like such shit if you smoke too much that I'll be able to get you off. But the vapes worry me a little bit. So can I quickly tell my dart
I haven't had
story?
a dart for a long time.
No, well, nor have I, actually. But I always felt bonded to you. I just want to quickly tell this because I spruiked it up, right? So every year I've got a mate who I tried really hard to get drafted, and there were 8 drafts in a row I really invested in.
You kept going for 8.
Yeah, 25 I gave it away.
Good
25. And now there's a dude that Essendon might take tomorrow who's 27.
Wow.
A guy from the Waffle, I'm told. So
Pod's
fucking
out there.
hell, I would have hung in there. Anyway, I've got a mate, and he's now the CEO of a building company. Yeah. Every year I didn't get drafted, he would come round with 2 darts and a lighter, and we'd sit out the back in the park and talk about what I could get better at next year.
How good's a sad dart?
Yeah, it was a sad dart, and I wouldn't have many more, and I still don't. I talk it up a bit on here, and I had 2 at our live show and cough for 4 days.
Yeah, 20
in fact, I had a sickie the next week. But yeah, the Bunger, his nickname's Bunger, if you're out there listening, who's now the high-flying building mogul. But yeah, he would bring a dart, and he'd go, mate, let's work on this and try to get me there next year. And eventually at 25, I had to give it away and get a job. I always felt bonded to you on that.
I got scared shitless by the leadership group, and it wasn't my last, but it was very close to my last after that day. They did their job.
Very good.
Very
Is that
good.
the end of the plumbers' questions?
I think we're there.
Yeah, I think we're there. And to say thanks, we've got our wine sponsor, Old Wines. We've got 2 bottles for you here.
Chardonnay.
Looks a bit heavier than
We
that.
missed
Dark
that.
red. Dark red.
Raz, good for you.
Jeez, they're sad wines, these. They are, if we lose in the next couple of weeks, this will be one of the ones I'll be having.
And on the back of your chair, the jumper for you there, 200 plus hoodie. Are you a chance to wear it?
Outside chance, yes.
Might get you on the payroll.
200 plus. Are you getting paid, you 3?
Massive.
Yes, yeah, they're big. We've got
Many
Mazda
spazzes. Old
BT-50
wines,
on.
Mazda.
First is always a bit of a trial,
Yeah.
but it's fair to say you've been pretty good. So,
Yeah,
it's been all right.
How many? So 100 episodes. How many rucks did you stop before you pivoted to go? We need to stop doing rucks.
we got Ivan Soldo on early doors, and Ivan, a bit like Chom in that thing we did, he didn't say a word.
Okay.
For the first 40 minutes.
So you started pivoting from there.
We said to him, because we were working it out, Max, so we said, mate, you're not a guest, like, don't worry about me being a journo. I'm just one of the boys. Like, just hang with us. And he actually just hung with us and didn't say a word for 40 minutes. So we had some weird shit go on.
When Drake's potted beverage, did you feel like calling it?
That only got us going.
That got big for a while. So
Secretly, they loved it. It got more listeners on the show.
It would have pumped up the show.
Oh, massively.
Jackie, yep, got onto that one pretty quick.
Any adversity is good adversity.
Hey, we
The
rode
podcast did my shoulder. Actually, I potted the Preston Bull Ants, who were then known as the Northern Bull
They're
Ants.
back
and
to Preston now.
They
Back to
played
Preston,
that.
yeah.
They played that pre-game, and they all come. They put my shoulder out round 1 last year. So it's cost a few of us dearly.
We've all had our warts. I almost got my journalism license taken off me.
What did you say?
We had a school visit, and I was going to piss myself.
Yeah, there it is,
And
actually.
I was verging on being late. Yeah, I think someone was speaking from Carlton. Anyway, and I just said, I've just got to have to piss in a bottle here. And otherwise, I didn't want to roll into school and demand to use the toilet. That's a bit.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that.
So I
that
did
seems
anyway.
like the more
So, I
appropriate.
mean, I don't know why we're going back to this now because it almost got me sacked. But long story short, because the boys had their warts on the show and so have I. So I was an award-winning journalist who took a piss in a bottle and I put it next to the car and I was just waiting for the thing to start, just doing a bit of homework or whatever. And a lady picked it up and thinking it was like my drink. And said, "Is this yours?" And it was steam coming off.
It's right behind you.
It's still here.
And I said, "No, sorry, I've never seen that in my life." Anyway, but we got through it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry for bringing it
We're
back
still
up.
here. No, that's okay, Maxie. Mate, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks,
Obviously,
Maxie.
we get the odd good guest, and we're not, not pissing in your pocket. I think you're the finest.
It came across my desk around episode 7, so apologies. Making you wait 93 episodes. All you needed was Drapes to come at me and not you.
Yeah, no, well, that's true. Maxie. But sometimes you've got to pull those levers in life. I don't think I came at you. I might have.
No, your role, play your role.
You went actually the proper way. I think you went via the club.
I did, actually,
Yeah.
through Matty Goodrow.
Yeah, that's not the way to get it.
No.
I'm not doing a favour for the club.
Go in
No.
the back door.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, so to speak. I've forgotten what it's like.
Shit, let's wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. On you, Maxie. Get on your son.
100th episode. Congratulations, celebrations, woohoo.
Shit, that was good.
That was
That
big.
was I'm not big on pumping things up that don't deserve to be pumped up.
That deserves a pump up. It
That
does.
deserved it.
That was good. What do we have? We had darts. We had lots of darts.
We had darts. I almost felt his package at one stage.
you might have a
I
case.
was just for clarification there. I was
Jeez.
feeling his quads. I
You
was
could
feeling
have a
his
case
quads.
stancer for that.
No. I was just because he was talking about the hip thrusting.
I nearly stepped in. It was,
Loved it. I
Really
was.
good.
I think we really bonded with the Gawn. If he didn't do
well
a
rounded,
gig on
isn't he?
Triple M, I think we'd get him back.
There's a lot to him.
Yeah, shit, he's a good player. But I really enjoyed that. So hopefully the Plumbers did too.
I reckon they will. That's one of our best interviews.
And if you want more of that sort of action, well, make sure you sign up for your Plumbers membership, which all the key rings are arriving. I'm getting a lot of key ring photos sent my
Snakey
way.
sent them out, I think.
Moff. So with the Plumbers membership, you get the member-only key ring with your number on it, first in, first served, 200 only. Can't be many of those left. Exclusive video podcast content and a few of the ruder stories that just can't stay in. Go in the Patreon. Plumber shout-outs for our for an episode, 20% off all merch, behind-the-scenes content and early ticket access to the live show. Moff. Now,
Yep.
that was an important plug. This is the most important segment. It's time for...
Brilliant.
Tell me something.
Tell me something.
But
Play the
there's a
scene.
change. There's a change. Boys, you guys have been sacked for the next month. And it's the producers, the guys behind the podcast taking over Tell Me Something. Thanks to TAC, Drivers Distractors Month. They can be caught anywhere, anytime, and it can be anyone. So
Play the sting.
Thank God. I was sick of doing that.
tell me something, boys. Something I haven't heard before. Okay, so that's the new sting. What do we think?
It's not the worst. It's better than 2 out of 2 or 3. Am I okay? Do I need to it's better. Hang on, I'm going to have another go. It's better than 2 out of 3 of your stings. One of your stings was all right.
What are you
2
trying
have
to
been
say?
shithouse.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
was
so
okay.
the reason why we're taking over
makes sense.
Tell Me Something for the next month is because Benny and I have been seeing you guys getting your Mazda deals and all this stuff for the podcast, and we're like, nah, we've had enough. We want to sponsor for the producers, right?
Oh, cool.
The people that run the show behind the
the show.
scenes. Exactly. So
You are the show.
TAC have come on board for Drivers Distractors Month, and we've got Willie T, so we're going to throw to that now. Tell me something about a time when you risked it and it didn't pay off.
Yeah, I'll kick it off, Willie. So as we know, Tom talking the other day about his dog having a bit of anxiety and getting on the anxiety medication. Now, he knew that all kind of went back to being left alone, and the dog ended up pissing on Paul Connors. And for me, I knew a time when I could pinpoint that with one of my dogs. There was a time down in Geelong when the rivers were a bit overflown. There was a bit of extra river water, and I was taking them on their walk, and I realised that my path was cut off, and I had to get them over. And one of the dogs, I didn't think I could just throw him over there. I did with the smaller one; he was fine. And then the other one, who was a nervous dog but not anxiety levels, I picked him up and I went to kind of like throw him over the river and just get him half the way across so he wasn't hurt. And I had a podcast playing and I was distracted because I was probably 200 plus and Butsy was probably telling something ripping story. So halfway through, I've kind of tuned out of what I was actually doing. I'm listening to the podcast and I've slipped and fallen into the river myself, but then
Oh, no.
dropped my dog into the river.
Oh, no, dude. Oh,
And
dear.
he's got submerged. It's taken him a little bit to surface. I had to walk home sopping wet, and my dog's now on anti-anxiety medication. So
Is he scared of the water?
Oh, he's terrified now, and he won't go near it when we're at the beach. And I think we've crossed the river route off the walking list. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So that one incident when you were distracted
Yep.
now has that long-lasting effect because now your dog doesn't want to go
I'm
near
my poor
water
dog,
and
yep.
you bloody waterlogged your phone.
yeah, exactly.
So that's
We wrote that one off. So.
Bloody very good. Now, Willie T, what have you got for me?
Oh, Benny, at least I haven't heard any dogs in the making of this one, but obviously last season I was quite renowned for pulling a few golf celebrations in the Div 12 Resies. I like to show off once I kicked a big 6-pointer, and in the season, Sam Draper, friend of the pod, gave me a very, very, very strong celebration to use in games. So I said, Drapesy, I'll do that for you. And then in the game, found myself in a position to have a set shot, and I thought, oh, here we go. Drapesy, this one's for you, my friend. And as I was lining up, I sort of got distracted by Drapesy doing the celebration and sort of it all playing out in my mind. And I think it just got the better of me. And as I was running in to kick the goal, I kicked into the man on the mark. So I was so distracted,
boy.
and then I've turned the ball over and they've gone down and kicked it a goal themselves. So
You kicked the goal before you kicked the goal.
yeah, well, I had kicked the goal in my head and I'd celebrated in my head, but then all of a sudden I've turned the ball over and my opposition has gone down and kicked a goal.
You weren't focused.
No, I
Distracted by the celebration,
distracted by the celebration, distracted by Drapesy, and yeah,
which is easy to do.
safe to say I got dragged for that.
No, very good, very good. Well, mine is similar. I've got Sam Draper involved with mine, and it's a much documented part of our podcast, Benny. And it was last year when Sammy said some bold comments about a few of the Bulldogs players.
Trade
Yes.
Tradegate.
Trade
And
gates.
it's well documented, but I was distracted when editing that pod because obviously I knew that was a big story and like it was good for the pod and like got out there because everything he said was fairly true, but got distracted by the big comments and the bold comments that I didn't actually think about the consequences for Drapes and the podcast. So I left it in and obviously it blew up and we all know what happened. But yeah, it was easy to be distracted by the outcome and then obviously exploded in my face and the pod's face and took the distraction away from how Drapes was playing and more about what he said. So yeah, it was a big consequence for a late night mistake. And that was Tell Me Something, brought to you by TAC. Distracted drivers can be caught anywhere, anytime, and it can be anyone. So let's get back into the pod.
Right, pretty good. Tell you something. They were a bit to them. They had probably a bit more than Drapes and I ever put thought into that. Don't
You know what? The boys were committed. They were a little bit long, but no, very good. Good variety. And that's what Tell Me Something, I hadn't
the
heard
essence
any of
of
it.
Tell Me Something,
It's
yeah.
a complete surprise, and that's the essence of life.
Well, I'm just
and
happy someone
happiness.
else's dog has anxiety as well. It's not just
Someone else's donk has anxiety.
dog. Benny's dog has anxiety as well.
Yes.
Same as Rich.
My donk's got anxiety after my performance last night. It's going, how could you put me through that sort of brilliance again?
Oh, it's that DPA.
Yes. Just quickly,
PDA.
we are getting towards the end. Highlights reels? We haven't really spoken about just the rich tapestry that has been our show.
Yeah, well,
Is there anything coming out?
We did touch on it low on the recovery, but we
Yes,
might
we
have
did.
to.
I listened to that
we
episode.
might, did
Was
you?
it good?
Yeah, on the way to Milford. Top 10 moments. I fight me. Sorry. Me fighting. What did I say? I or me? So you have to clean this up. Yeah. Me fighting?
I don't know. What?
Oh, yeah. I listened to this on the way to Milford Sound. When I fought the Press and Bull Ants was at number 3.
It was.
Your Spuds game debacle was at 9.
Yes.
Only
Just 'cause I don't
only
ever
be
wanna think
beaten by
about it.
Gatorade Pissgate at number 10.
And the Magnums.
yeah, the
They were
Magnums
not
of the car,
good
like.
times in my life.
Yeah.
I don't think you did. It's hard to do a blind ranking, but you did have a few down that could have been up. But pretty good ranking, to be fair. Blind. Paris Hilton was definitely up there.
We might have to resurface some old clips this week.
Benny, what about a little highlights package for the plumbers?
Yeah, we can get something together. I think we've already got a bit of content going out this week with Gawny, but yeah, we could probably do something. I think, do you know what? Didn't get a mention, which like for me as an OG plumber, I just couldn't believe it, was strapping it on and getting out the back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
That is
God,
classic.
Horse
That's-
Woods.
I thought that was criminal.
Jeez,
number
I
one.
love horse. That needs to go in the package. I've got a backing track for you too. I'll talk to you off air about
Oh,
it.
okay.
But it's a bit of take that. early 2000s, Take That is a good backing track.
We'll take that offline.
Yeah, we will. We will. To Grilled or somewhere. Right, can I sing it out? Or?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah. Well, I really want to go Mr. Big.
Wait. We got a Chom's Nugget.
Oh, go.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, right.
The number one segment that we don't have a sponsor for yet. We will get a sponsor.
Yeah.
Or but singing it out, but we'll get a sponsor for that too.
We don't need a sponsor for that.
Well, we do.
You're not getting X Factor.
Sing stars.
Yeah. So the nugget for this week, it's another food restaurant which we will be doing a content piece for, is Rocco's Bologna in Fitzroy.
Bologna, beautiful.
It's
Part of the
an
world.
Italian bar restaurant on Gertrude Street. They do a brilliant, they call it a Roman hot honey focaccia. So it's a focaccia bread with this chili hot honey. It's brilliant. They do a beautiful spicy vodka pasta, but they're famous for their meatball sub, it was all over TikTok at one point. But the bar itself is beautiful, little booth. A lovely bar and a nice out the back place to sit as well. So we'll get a content piece done there for the plumbers and put that out. But the nugget for this week is Rocco's Bologna in Fitzroy. The sister restaurant's also Poodle, so we'll give that a bit of a shout out too.
I'll be getting down there. All right, I'm singing. We've sung for 99 episodes, so we're coming. Am I doing this by myself?
Sorry?
That was me last night. I should have had.
What are you
my Give It
singing?
Heaps should have been me in the old boudoir last night.
Oh, geez. What are you singing?
I'm singing Mr. Big to Be With You. And this is going to be at the live show too, because it's a
take it
fucking
away.
banger.
I've never heard it.
Not karaoke version.
No,
it's always the wrong pitch.
You're raw dogging this. You're going.
I'm raw
you're going
dogging.
Yeah,
I'll not typing. I'm not wasting my
Hold
time.
on, little girl. Show me what he's done to you. Stand up, little girl. A broken heart can't be that bad when it's through. It's through. Fate can twist the both of you. So come on, baby. Come on over. Let me be the one to hold you, Charlie.
Show you.
Can we go?
I'm just looking at the lyrics.
I'm the one who wants to be with you.
I don't know this. Sorry.
Deep inside, I hope you feel it too. Waited on a line of, waited on that line. Yeah, just to be the next. Oh, I need some help. Could be yours. Yes.
I'll do it. Well done.
Well, it was a bit high. Thank you.